Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. First of all, I want to say thank you to Dr. Sivi because give me this opportunity to present my research proposal and everyone who watching this video. Uh, First, let me introduce myself. My name is Nurul Shahida binti Muhammad Nasruddin and my matric number is GS55302. So here I will present my research proposal and my topic is the factor influence conservation behavior among industrial worker toward Klang Valley. Without further ado, let's get started. For my presentation, I have 6 sections. First, I will go through the introduction, which is the background of the study. I will mention about water pollution, river in Malaysia and industry in Malaysia. Second section, problem statement. What is the current issue that happened in Klang Valley? Then I will state the research question and research objective. Next, I will elaborate a bit about significance of study. After that, we look at the literature review that I collected. And lastly, I will show what is the research method that I'm used for my study on this topic. Background of study. First, we go to water pollution. One of the main problem facing Malaysia is the issue of river water pollution. While Malaysia has been successful in economic development, water pollution concern continue to grow up. As we know, water is the most important sources not only for human life but also for others like animals, marine life in rivers. Therefore, water pollution will be anticipated as the toxic release of nutrient into the water area disrupt the effect of water use as well as the ecosystem of the flow. This occur as a parties illegally use rivers in the state to dispose of the garbage or the waste. Secondly, river in Malaysia. The Malaysian river was created as it has many rain catchment areas such as a forest as well as significant rainfall over the year. In short, rivers play an important role in everyday life. The river is split into two functions, water sources and the other uses. Firstly, the river has been become the water sources is to use as a source of drinking water for the use of the agriculture, aquaculture, and the industrial operation, as well as for everyday use at home. And secondly, for the other uses such as water breeding venue for aquatic animal, habitat, town and village settlement, trade port, recreation places, electricity generators, and also of a source of tourism. And lastly, industry in Malaysia. There are a variety of industrial type in Malaysia, such as heavy industrial, like car manufacturing, repair ship, iron and steel, and etc. Light industrial, for example, timber, palm oil, food processing, rural industry, and etc., as well as tourism industrial for recreation. Okay, the water resources are one of the factor affecting the Malaysian industry. For example, industrial area need to be erected in low cost area of water supply in order to minimize the cost of producing a product and to be sufficient. In addition, there is an environmental effect on industrial growth. As I mentioned, one of it is water pollution. This is due to disposal of waste from the factories to the river. The disposal of chemical and radioactive waste is harmful to human and other life. It triggers a rise of substance that can be poisoned in river water and directly treat water life. Okay, next we go to problem statement. The reason why I'm choosing target area Klang Valley because of many cases about water pollution was reported last year. Here I list down the cases from March 2020 until November 2020. On 17 March, order the first case on 17 March odor pollution caused by a heavy machinery workshop involved in oil waste storage. Then 27 March, oil waste pollution in Selangor River. 16 April, pollution incident suspended due to water flow from a fish pond in Hulu Selangor, and then it polluting the raw water river. On 27 May, a diesel oil spill was caused by the accident of a diesel tanker truck with a van on the North-South Highway near Behrang. On 3rd September, there are 1,292 areas in a 7 provinces affected water supply. For the 4th October, investigation carried out following the odor pollution in Sungai Semenyih and Sungai Langat. In 19 October, a solvent-like odor caused by a repair shop and selling construction machinery was detected entering the river. And lastly, the 10th November, action of a premise operator in an industrial area in the Taman Velok Rawang to dispose of a scheduled waste through a toilet before it flow into Indah Sewage Treatment Plant Consortium and enter the Sungai Selangor. Thus, pollution of raw water resources in several important rivers in Selangor caused the main water treatment plant to be stopped. It means it will affect water supply for the community in several times. We can see majority the cause for all of the cases was come from industrial. Okay, next we go to research question and research objective. In my study, I curious about the perception among industrial worker toward river quality, especially in Klang Valley. Did they know the location of the condition river water near their firm? Did they have the awareness toward the Klang Valley? So my first research question is, what is the perception of the river quality by industrial worker? And secondly, uh, what are the main factor influencing water conservation behavior among industrial worker in Klang Valley? The second one is my main reason why I do this research, to recognize the factor that influence river conservation action among the workers, and that maybe can be apply in their work schedule or company policy. At the same time, it can improve our river water quality, especially at Klang Valley. So basically, the general objective of this thesis is to explore the perception of the river quality by industrial worker and the factor that influence water conservation action among industrial worker in Klang Valley. So there are three significant of study. First, offer the benefit of society, considering that it is necessary knowledge to be aware of the condition of the river, especially toward the Klang Valley. Second, help society to change its attitude toward environmental conservation. And lastly, give a policymaker an important role to play in developing the efficient environmental policy to preserve environmental practice. Okay, next I will show you my literature reviews collected. On previous study, there have a lot of study that mention for this issue. So on my overview literature review, I'm divide to 6 parts. First, demand of clean water, water pollutions, urban area, watershed management, government intervene, and lastly, factor that influence conservation behavior. On the demand of the clean water, there are two. Abdul Rahim 1985 mentioned that the water resources is the one of necessary infrastructure requirement, and Doria 2006 said a lot of studies will use water supplies to make their product. High demand for clean water can be seen in this study. Next, water pollution. Okay, Bittinger 1998 used a zesting metric for the quality of aquatic habitat, two of which are focused on issue of concern, which are sediment and temperature. Abdullah 2016, the consistency of water in the river will impact the aquatic environment. Amara 2019 observed the entire river system is notorious for its exceptional bad smell due to the toxic air climate. Next, urban area. Abdul Rahim 1985 showed that the eventual development of this small township also meant potential contamination of water supply. Next, watershed management. Dong X 2008 conclude that the comprehensive assessment of water allocation is required to optimize the overall uses of water supplies. And then Biagi 2011 pay attention on future focused views toward the possibility of water pollution are likely to be more pro-ecological and protective than those currently oriented. Next, government intervene. Amara 2019 said government should enable companies to develop best environmental practice. And lastly, factors that influence conservation behavior. For there are three: education, communication, and parent control. For the first, education, Brewer 2008 findings show that the three of these teaching approach not only encourage environmental consciousness but also promote environmental awareness, which is one of this is education. And in communication, the Mark Q 2013 considered a contractual commitment dialogue system proved to be more successful than convincing communication. And lastly, parent control. The study of Ilham E. 2014 indicate that environmental school in two urban communities in Israel has been especially effective in affecting the action of parents. Moreover, it's easier to control the action of adults than to influence their behavior. Okay, now we go to the final part of this presentation, research methodology. So my study, I'm used survey research. So I'm used questionnaire as a instrument for the data collection. In questionnaire, the question was divided into 5 parts, which are their responder profile, the general awareness level, river water quality and pollution impact, stakeholders responsibility for river management, and lastly, environmental problem and practice implemented. So the respondent, who is a person directly or indirectly involved the pollution of the river, provide the detail on the completion of the investigation, which is there were subfield. I'm choose to have 200 respondents for these studies. So target area for sure nearby KLANG Valley, and target group is industrial worker, which is I'm focused for workers in food establishment, hawkers or wet market, automobile workshop, developer, corporate, and etc. And lastly, empirical methodology. I'm use logit model, descriptive analysis, and Likert scale. For the logit model is a non-linear regression model that produce an equation where the variable is categories. It means the categories used from the model have produced binary value, which are figure 0 and 1. The resulting figure delegate a specific category that can be reflected in the model. The dependent variable was dichotomous or dummy form. Hence, in this case, binary logistic model is the most appropriate economic tool for the analysis. Uh, this studies from Jean Hill 2010. And for the descriptive analysis, it will be analyzed and processed using the, for example, computer software, such as SPS, Statistic Kit for Social Science program. This software is ideal for the analysis of descriptive statistic data. So sample data analysis for the display of the raw data in the research sample. This software allow reviewers to obtain result quickly and reliably for statistical study conduct. And lastly is Likert scale. Likert analysis will be analyzed and processed using, for example, as same as descriptive analysis, SPS. So Likert scale in the scale of the comparison used to shape question in order to compare the factor influencing the conservation of behavior. Each respondent has 7 group of skill, which is the beginning is the most disagree, number 1, and to the most agree, number 7. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you for your attention. See you later.